Ok. A little bit. Afternoon. That's a fucked up. All right, people. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. We are here doing this live for the students for the first grade. My bird's a little bit messy. First of all, I will talk a little bit about the group work and the final grades for the semester. Okay, I will do a recap for what I did in a video that was uploaded in my YouTube page. Okay, I'll do it in Portuguese and then we go back to English, right? Sorry. Então, primeiramente, indicar para vocês com relação ao feedback dos trabalhos em equipe. Só um minutinho, o pessoal está entrando aqui. Ok. Então, só retomar alguns comentários que eu fiz, né? Então, primeiramente, essa primeira parte vai ser em português. Se vocês tiverem dúvidas, vocês podem acessar aqui pelo chat. E aí a gente esclarece também. Então, primeiramente, com relação às notas, né? Então, eu enviei para a turma uma lista com as notas, então vocês vão ver ali as colunas, né? Então, a primeira nota é em referência ao questionário, que alguns entregaram presencialmente a professora Rita e outros enviaram eletronicamente. A maioria entregou pessoalmente. Essa é a primeira nota, no valor de 3. Depois a segunda, que é a avaliação individual. E o trabalho em equipe, que vale 10 no total, né? Então, vocês somam tudo, dividem por 2, e aí vocês têm a nota do trimestre. Tá? Alguns alunos não conseguiram fazer, não estavam integrados a grupo, enfim, não conseguiram ser encontrados. Eles vão poder refazer essas avaliações assim que as aulas presenciais retornarem. Então, podem estar em contato para tentar resolver essa pendência também. Então, com relação ao feedback, então vou citar algumas coisas que eu citei no vídeo. Então, com relação ao Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, então alguns textos eles foram trechos muito extensos, ou em alguns casos textos inteiros, né, foram retirados da internet. E o que vocês devem fazer é o seguinte: sempre buscar fontes distintas para produzir o texto. Uns 3, 4 textos distintos, e aí você monta o seu próprio texto. Até porque hoje em dia a questão da autoria textual é algo muito importante, essencial, eu diria. Então, você ter a sua própria assinatura textual, a sua própria produção. Produção em texto em equipe é algo que não é fácil. Então, vocês têm que desenvolver alguma estratégia para desenvolver esse texto, né? Produzir um texto individualmente é mais controlável, vamos dizer assim. Então, tá, com relação à estrutura, né? Então, eu peço que vocês, inclusive, anotem. Eu vou falar, na segunda parte da aula, eu vou falar em inglês sobre o nosso segundo semestre, o segundo trimestre, e o terceiro também. Então, vocês devem indicar a seguinte estrutura, né? Então, são A gente vai deixar essa estrutura padrão para que nós possamos trabalhar de maneira mais uniforme. Então, será 4 parágrafos, né? E aí vocês devem dividir esses parágrafos em extensões semelhantes, então 7, 8 linhas para cada um, num total de 30 linhas. Né? Fonte Times New Roman, ou pode ser Arial também, ou Arial, if you like. 12 e 1,5 de espaçamento entre as linhas. É importante que vocês produzam o texto dentro dessa estrutura para que siga um padrão e fique mais homogênea a análise textual de vocês. Tá. Outras coisas que eu peguei após ter gravado aquela aula, né? Então, alguns de vocês colocaram o primeiro nome por extenso e o sobrenome abreviado. Então, vocês devem fazer o contrário. Né? Então, aqui, vamos dar um exemplo. Né? Então, se o nome do cara é Tom Morello, né? Então, em vez de colocar Tom M, coloca-se T Morello. Ok? Porque a referência de vocês é geralmente pelo sobrenome. Então, até porque se vocês tiverem alunos com o mesmo nome, mas tiverem um sobrenome que começa com a mesma letra, vocês não têm como diferenciar quem é a pessoa. Então, também essa questão de colocar o nome, né? Com relação aos arquivos em PPT, alguns colocaram o mesmo texto que foi apresentado no arquivo. E, na verdade, quando você vai fazer apresentações em PPT, PDF que seja, você deve colocar tópicos, textos mais curtos, né? Às vezes, no começo, você coloca um texto mais extenso, trabalhar mais com imagens, tópicos, né? Textos menos extensos, né? Porque aí você consegue fazer de uma maneira que você controle melhor. Deixa eu ver o que tem mais aqui. Tá. Então, isso é com relação ao feedback do pessoal que está entrando aqui ainda. O pessoal que entrou depois pode ficar tranquilo que essa aula está sendo gravada e eu vou disponibilizar no link no YouTube. Então, se vocês chegaram um pouquinho depois, vocês vão pegar essas informações também. Então, assim, a gente vai falar um pouco sobre o segundo e o terceiro trimestre, right? Now we're going to start to speak in English. If you feel like having difficulties to understand, I think you can get a subtitle in Portuguese, right? Or even in English too. So we will talk about, before we talk about the second trimester, I would like to know what are you doing during this pandemic time? So you can say here in the chat, or you can open your microphone. I will type here. So what are you doing in these pandemic times? So is there something interesting you're doing? Just studying? I want to hear from you. You can open your mic if you feel like. I just make it work here a little bit better. So, answers? A minute. Just checking it. Okay, so when I got an answer here, I will talk about it. So let's talk about the second trimester. First of all, we do not know when the first trimester will finish. Um, we we are waiting the decisions for um, uh, other superior entities and to see when it's going to finish. To the moment, we don't have a right time to come back to normal classes. Let's see, Ana Julia said here, I'm not doing much, just IFC activities and playing on my cell phone. Uh, but if you say just IFC activities, I think you are doing much, right? Because I think you have 18 or 19 subjects to study, right? And playing on my cell phone. So you mean playing video games? What kind of games are you playing, Ana Julia? Somebody translate for us, immortals. Oh, João, you can. I think she's playing MOBA. I don't know what kind of game is this, Ana Julia. Uh, Mobile. Ah, okay, okay. Oh yeah, you can Legends, right? Yeah, yeah, I got it. Just to answer João Pedro, I think you can put subtitles. You go into configuration, set Exo Heroes 2. Exo Heroes. Is this action video games? I don't know this. I'm very into football, basketball when you talk about video games, FIFA and all these things. I know the name of the it's an RPG for phone. Okay. I used to play table RPG. So the real one with people dress up. A long, long time ago, I think 20 something years ago, I used to play. All right, Hannah. Uh, on FIFA and PS, Gustavo is saying here. Oh, I was yesterday. I was playing a little bit FIFA. Uh, João say I don't like sports and don't like too much video games. Ian said Red Dead Redemption, I guess. I don't know this game too. Um, actually, I myself I like sports, uh, and I think video games good too. But you must need to control the time. But in the other hand, there are some people getting a lot of money, play video games, uh, a LOL or CS or Free Fire. Football teams they have sport e-sport teams too. I prefer listen music. So Aline said here, what kind of music do you prefer to listen? Any type of specific style? For example, nowadays I'm listening too much Turkish music. Oh, John say that I like Minecraft. Minecraft is a classic one. Alina said I'm eclectic. Uh, I'm eclectic too, but um, I prefer. Of course, there are some kind of type of music that I don't listen to, but I respect. But I'm more into rock and roll, funk, the real funk, not the carioca funk. Nothing against, but it's not my style. Uh, and nowadays I'm listening to Turkish psychedelic music. I'm even learn a little bit of Turkish language because of that. So I can say, um, for example, I say in Turkish, "Günaydin, Benadim, Marcelo." It means good morning. My name is Marcelo. Let's see. There's some psychedelics. Very good. Aline said, "Yeah, yeah. It's like from 60s, 70s. And it is a good type of music to spend time because if you get, for example, I don't know, Pink Floyd, they have like a 20-minute song, so you can listen again. Um, I love this kind of music. Of course, I know what is happening right now in the world of music. I know Post Malone. I know some names, but I never hear the Kendrick Lamar. Even here in Brazil, I know some artists, but I'm more into. Uh, and João said, "Yeah, I like love," and he's addressing to Vito. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the second trimester, right? I have a little back issues right now, but I think I'm gonna be alive. Um, so we are. I'm just waiting the students that have some grades that is not done yet to finish the first trimester, right? And in the second trimester, we have here this information I will give you again, right? More specifically, but here we're gonna have some general information, all right? First of all, first a question: how did you feel to work in group? I know it's not easy. Working in group is never easy. But how do you feel? Do you feel I don't like? Aline said she doesn't like. Why not? What's the problems you've been facing? Oh yes, it's very hard. I totally agree with you. You know, mainly because dealing with people, it's very hard. Oh, Aline said that she thinks it's easier to work alone, and actually it is. Um, but for instance, to work in groups, I'll give you my example. I also prefer to work alone. I think I can control more the things. I don't know if you know, I am recording a record all by myself. So I play all the instruments, I wrote all the songs. Um, okay, Ana Julia said, my group has only 3 people, so it's easier to communicate. Will he continue with the same groups for the next group work? Samuel asked. I think it's the best, man, because um, if we have to choose another group, it's more time that we spend, right? I think the best way is to keep the same groups uh, because now you know you a bit more, and I think it can work better. So talking about working groups, that's I was talking about my experience. Most of the time I work by myself, but now as a teacher of IFC, I'm part of some groups, and for example, now I'm part of a group that is producing the material for Portuguese as an Portuguese as a foreign language. So Portuguese to people who does not have Portuguese as the first language. So uh, I'm discussing with these teachers. So not all the times we agree on something, right? Sometimes some groups, somebody take the leadership, and other times people share the tasks equally. But as Aline said, it's not easy. No, it's not easy. Of course, if you have hello teacher, I won't be able to stay in class for a long time. Okay, Pedro, that's no problem. This class will be recorded, right? Yes, it will be available on YouTube. No problem, no problem at all, right? You stay here as much as you can. So now I'm having to work with other teachers. They have other views in life. They have other uh, way of thinking, but we have to get together, right? And is being a great experience because I don't know if you notice, I'm a guy who loves talking, but sometimes I have to keep quiet and listen to other people. So when you work in groups, it can happen too, right? It's time for you to talk, time for you to quiet a little bit, right? Um, but if you have any issue, you just tell me, right? Let's try to keep these groups because I think it will be easier for you, right? Uh, okay, no problem. So, okay. Oh yeah, Samuel. We plan to keep the same groups. Uh, don't worry if you have to do something, some household chores, is okay. No problem, man. Uh, so, talking a little bit about the second trimester. Um, I'm gonna make easier this time because the first time, the first trimester, we have the second grade. The first grade was divided into two. It can make some confusion. So now the second trimester, we're gonna have two um, uh, activities, two tests. One individual and the other is in group. Okay, so each one of these tests it's worth 10 points. Okay. Um, so the first one, the individual test, will be done into Google Classroom platform. All right. So you're gonna get a formulary from Google Classroom, and you have to fulfill this formulary. So will be the um, the first one, individual. So each one is going to do by him or herself. Um, and we're gonna have about 8 classes until we get uh, to the first test. Okay. The subjects of this trimester, they are already in the SIGA. Okay. The file is Plano de Atividades, May, I guess, to 2020. So you can check there if you feel like to be more precise what the things you're gonna do. So this is the first one you will do, right? Um, and you have to uh, do it by the Google formulary. About the group work, this is the first grade, the individual work. The second grade is a group work, and each group will choose a book. So you have to choose a book to write about it. Uh, you can choose, okay, the book has to be in English. Book, the class, yeah, each group has to choose one book to write about it. Okay. And in this case, you can choose. Okay, you got it right. You can choose any style you want, right? Any book you want. I think uh, it's interesting that you read the book. So try to choose a shorter book, a book that is more concise, right? Or a book that some people in the group have read to make the things easier. Okay, so each group will choose one book, uh, and then you have to do a text in a PDF. You have to send in a PDF file 30 lines. So don't worry, we're gonna have I'm gonna have a class the same we did in the first trimester. I'm gonna do a class for you to get an overview of what I want from you. Post information in PPT. You mean about this subject I'm talking now? Not yet. I didn't post yet. I will post later, but I'm explaining to you what you have to do to the next group work. People are coming. I will post as soon as I finished. I will post in the Google Classroom and in SIGA too. So you have to do a text, 30 lines, not less nor more than 30 lines. So specifically, as I told you, we have this uh, structure, right? I put in the previous class, but I put again in the other class, in the other file, okay? Um, and in the end of this text, you have 30 lines and it's finished. You will put links to PPT presentation, videos, audios, images, whatever. Okay. So in by doing this, you have to send me just one file because we have some problems in the first trimester because I ask you to send a text and to send a complementary file. But some of you didn't name the file, so it was a bit confused. Some groups choose the same artist and they didn't name the file, so it made a bit complicated to know what is it from. So you put everything in just one file and you send by Google Classroom, and this will be our second grade for the second trimester, worth 10 points. Okay, so you have two worth 10. You and then you get your average divided into two, right? Uh, I will do a class about one book from one writer named Dostoevsky. Okay, but before I talk about it, I'll talk about the structure. So, 4 paragraphs. You have to put 4 paragraphs in these 30 lines. The first paragraph, you talk about the author. So, for example, I will do this class about a book named Crime and Punishment. It's a book wrote by Fyodor Dostoevsky. He's a Russian writer. So I will talk about the English translation of this book. You can choose a book that it was original in another language, and you get the translation from it. Uh, so in this first paragraph, um, I will talk about the author. So Fyodor Dostoevsky was born in Russia, whatever. He wrote, I don't know, hundreds of books, dozens of books, and he was considered to be one of the first writers to be related to psychology. I will talk about the things related to the author. So, first paragraph, talk about the author, right? Second paragraph, you will talk about uh, the book itself. The second and the third paragraph, you will talk about the book. So, the first paragraph, the first paragraph is the author. The second paragraph, I start to talk about the book, about the content of the book. So, what is inside the book? So, I will talk. So, the book is Crime and Punishment, and the book tells the story of Raskolnikov, who is a guy, he kills the the owner of his apartment, and he stay with a lot of issues in his head because of the crime he committed. This is the plot. The plot is the main idea of the book. So the second paragraph is the plot. The third paragraph, you will talk about critical reception of the book. What was the feelings people have towards the book? So, for example, about Crime and Punishment, uh, is a kind of controversial book because some people they thought um, this type of book was defending, in a way, psychopathic behavior. Some people deserve to be killed or not. It's a very controversial book. So I will talk about it in the third paragraph. And in the fourth paragraph, you can bring some additional information. For example, if this book had been adapted to another forms, like it has a move adaptation, cartoon, whatever, or some information you consider important. For example, the book was considered to be uh, one of the 10 uh, works that people has to read before dying. So try to bring more information about it, uh, about this book. All right. So recapping, the second grade for your first, the second grade for the second trimester is a group work about a book. I ask the representatives of the group to send me the choices. So not now, probably next week. I'm gonna ask you for. So I ask you to get in touch with your group mates to see which book you're gonna choose, right? Um, so then we have these two tests for the second trimester. But let me see here. Just a second. Oh yes, I can give more explanations. I will. Samuel is asking if I give more information about it. I will do a class about it, and I will send you a PPT. You mean PPT, right? The PowerPoint text, and I'll send to you. No problem, man. I'll send to you Here, I just give you the general idea of what to do, right? So this is the second trimester. Okay, I remember right now. In July, from okay, yeah, I'll send the same. Oh, the groups will be the same. Ana Julia is asking. It will be the same groups. Uh, because most of you could work well. Of course, there's some issues in some groups, but I think the work was done. It could be better some moments, but we have to face it that we are not in ordinary times, right? So I take this into account too. So we will keep the. Oh yes, you see, João, you don't need translation because that's what I talking about. Yeah, we have somebody translate for me. Until now, I understand that we have to do a group work about a book. That's it. That's it. The you have to choose. Sorry for the background sound, people. People are repairing something here. It's a bit noisy. Uh, each group has to choose one book, and you have to make a text about this book, right? And I divide it into paragraphs, 4 paragraphs, each one with its content. But I will explain this brief in a more detailed way later on. Okay. Yes, it is. You see, you understand what I talk. It's no problem understanding, I guess. Uh, just a second. Okay, okay, I done. Um, technology sometimes it has a problem. I'll give you a brief information about the third trimester. We don't know it's going to start, right? But I already gave you this information, but I'll give you again. The third trimester, each group will write a short story, and you will create a short story, um, and then you can choose any style of story you want. You can choose the characters, you can choose the plot. You do what you want, okay? Um, and to do this short story, I will also give you a class how to write short stories. I am a writer myself. I have been writing since I was 8 years old. Fiction. I used to write fiction, but nowadays I don't write fiction anymore. No, no, no. You are not you are not going nuts, Ana Julia. Uh, yeah, the third trimester you have to do a short story. Yeah. So you and your group, you will get in touch with. Oh, yes, yes, that's great because I want to check your uh, creativity in use language, the ideas you brought up, and the classes we have before this. I will prepare you to do a short story. Uh, you can use, for example, the subjects that are interesting for you. And why am I telling you now what I'm gonna do in the third trimester? because you can start to produce right now. Have an idea. So you can say to your group, oh, I think is nice if we talk about this subject. And then you can start to write, because writing a text, writing a story, um, it's not easy, because when you start the story, sometimes the story gets life on its own. So you start to write the story and you want to do this and that, but then it starts to go by its own. So it's not easy. It's not um, one day, one night, and it's done. You have to do the story. You have to reveal the text. You have to talk. You have to see if it's catchy. So a catchy story is the story you don't want to stop reading. And so this is for the third trimester, and but you can start to do it, uh, not to produce, but you can start to discuss what subjects would you like to write in the story. So this is a question I'm going to ask you. So what are the subjects you could write in the story? Okay, good question, Julia. How the limits, right? uh, for this story you will have 90 lines. uh, I think 90 lines is around 3 pages, three and something, right? So the limit is that. So don't write too short, not too long. So 90 lines. Uh, of course, I can accept if it's 89 lines, 88, 92 lines. Try to get in this position, right? Because it's easier to have a standard, to follow the standard. So the number 90 lines is the one you have to follow. Okay. So what are the subjects that interest in you to write a story about? Is there anything that you feel interesting to write? Another thing, you can choose if it's a fiction, if it's a real story. You choose. It's your choice. Sometimes the difference between fiction and fact is just you change the names. So I can tell a story. For example, when we tell stories, embarrassing stories about ourselves, I do like that sometimes. When I want to tell an embarrassing story about myself, I say, I have a friend who lived this, lived that. Actually, this friend, it's me. But I'm embarrassed to tell this story, so I make a character about this story. You can do this too. You can get a real story and make it kind of fictionalized, but is a choice that has to be done by the group. Okay, so the group has to choose if you want to make a fiction, if you want to make science fiction, if you want to write about relationships, if you want to write about coronavirus, you choose. Right? And so this is for the last trimester, right? But you can start to do it right now, right? You can gather ideas. Um, you can also do a brainstorm. So, do you know what is a brainstorm? So, a brainstorm is when you want to create something, you get together with people. Of course, you will get together virtually, okay, like we are doing now. You get together with some people and discuss ideas for uh, for something you have to do. It can be a product, a service, a work of art. So the brainstorm can be used for. We have minimum lines. Nathan is asking is 90 lines. So people don't get confused. I'll type here. So 90 is the number for. No. 90 lines. Noventa linhas, gente. To not get confused with the number of lines. But this is for the last trimester. We don't know when we're gonna come back to the normal classes, because actually they will not be normal. I'm hear what people saying. For example, the classes will have to be smaller because you need to have a distance of 1.5 meters, 2 meters from other students. It will be a weird times. Actually, it's already weird times because we will not be able to greet ourselves, to hug ourselves. I came from Salvador. In Salvador, we touch each other a lot. So we'll be different these times. And Julia is asking, the maximum is the same, 90. Okay, 99. And then you have to start to have ideas. Yes, that's 90 linhas. Yeah. And remember, you have that structure that I showed you, that I told you. Actually, I didn't show you. And try to get. But first, let's come back, recap the second trimester. You have to choose one book. Okay. And I gave you the example of the book I chose. Oh yes, Nathan, you can choose the subject you want. No, Samuel. The 19 lines story is for the third. I put here for the third. For the second, okay, I'll just correct here. For the second, you have to choose one book and you have to do a review of this book. So, yeah, you choose one book, any choice you want, and then you have to write about it. And it's a critical review, so you have to do this review with your own information, what you think about the book, to be critical about it, and things like that. Let me see. All right, people. So, yeah. João is asking if it could be a famous book. Oh, yeah. No. Not, you don't have to write a book and review it. You have to review a book in the second trimester. And in the third trimester, you have to write a short story, not a book. You can choose the books that's interesting for you. With a nice story. Uh, Actually, I don't want to give you the directions. I want you to follow your guts and check what is the decision for the group. Can it be any book in the second quarter? I didn't understand that question, Nathan. Um, the quarter of what? Oh yeah, yeah. Any book you choose. Uh, but try to make a choice between the group, a choice that most of the group members agree with, because book is something very personal sometimes. Sometimes, for example, it's very common to me. I read the book, I love the book, I give to a friend, and he say, "This book is horrible, man. I hate that." No, and there's this MC named Marechal, MC Marechal. He is a rapper, not a raper. Remember, he's a rapper, and he said that indicate books to people, it's very dangerous because you love the book, you give to a person, but this person feels like, I didn't like the book. So try to get a book that is for the taste of the members of the group, right? Try to get a common ground. For example, some people like more fiction books, other people like more intellectual books, other people like more philosophical, but try to get common ground, right? Okay, people, do you have any questions, any doubts? Don't worry, all this information will be sent to you. I will prepare class about a book, and you get the directions to do it. So do you have any questions, any doubts? Is everything clear for you? You want me to speak Portuguese, Samuel? But I think you understood what I said. That's the most important. If you are understanding what I say, Ana Julia is asking if the story can have illustration. As an additional material, yeah, you can have illustration. Yeah, it's a good idea. I think it's great. You can put some illustration, but following the 19 lines I said to you. But there's no problem. You can have illustration. Yeah, we can do it. So we can finish for here, right? I waiting the contact of those students who miss some grade, ok? Aqueles estudantes que ainda que estão sem uma nota em algumas das o review do segundo trimestre, o mínimo de o limite é 30 linhas, né? Então, não menos, não mais. Tenta fechar no número de 30. Eu vou tentar, obviamente, se você fizer 29 linhas ou 31 linhas, está dentro do padrão. Mas tenta manter 30 linhas, né? E 90 linhas para o trabalho que vocês vão fazer no terceiro trimestre, que é produzir uma história. Né? Então, um conto, né? Uma história curta. E aí vocês escolhem o tema que vocês quiserem, os personagens, enfim. Fiquem à vontade para fazerem o que vocês acharem, né? Isso, então no segundo trimestre, uma resenha de 30 linhas, e no terceiro trimestre vocês vão produzir a sua própria história com 90 linhas. Correto? Isso também, lembrando que nós temos nós teremos as avaliações individuais também. Correto, Celso, exatamente. Então, segundo trimestre, vocês vão escolher um livro e vão fazer uma resenha sobre ele. E aí nós teremos uma aula que eu vou apresentar um livro, e ela vai servir de um padrão para vocês Sim, o mesmo grupo do trabalho anterior, né? Então, como vocês já estão em contato entre vocês, já facilita, porque se a gente for dividir, em grupo. Se for dividir um grupo de novo e tal, por nada, a gente vai gastar um tempo que a gente pode utilizar já produzindo. Então, e como a maioria dos grupos não teve nenhum problema muito grave, né? Todos, todos os grupos que tiveram alguns problemas resolveram entre eles mesmos, né? Também, Ana Júlia, porque aí a gente já deixa tudo né, organizado e não precisamos dividir de novo. Então, vocês já ficam... Até porque vocês já podem começar a produzir a história de vocês, já podem começar a fazer um brainstorm, né? Então, colocar as ideias do que vocês acham que deve ser feito ou não, já desde agora, né? Então, vocês já se preparam até o fim do ano, né? Que foi uma preparação que eu já fiz até no começo do ano. Eu coloquei uns slides lá e para vocês já terem as informações que vocês vão precisar para o ano inteiro. Sem saber que ia ter pandemia, né? Que tem alguns alunos dizendo que eu sou profeta, que eu já sabia que ia acontecer, por isso que eu já tinha me preparado. Mas não, eu sempre tento dar as informações prévias o mais brevemente possível. Eu já tinha preparado tudo, então eu passei para os alunos já, né, o que seria feito. O slide que eu mandei, inclusive, eu vou reenviar com algumas mudanças, porque a gente teve que alterar por conta de datas, a gente não está seguindo mais as datas como o calendário indica por conta da pandemia. Né? Então é isso, gente. Ficamos aqui por hoje. If we have other lives, I will tell you. We're going to do some lives for you to clarify some doubts about the work, ok? Mas pelo momento estamos aqui. Qualquer dúvida, qualquer comentário, questão, crítica, pode mandar um e-mail, pode acessar o SIGA ou então o Google Classroom da turma, ok? Então, gente, um abraço para vocês. Nos vemos aí pela frente. Oh, thank you, Caio. É sempre bom quando a gente pode fazer uma live, né? Porque aí fica mais direto. All right. Goodbye, people. Stay at home, okay? Follow the quarantine indications, and see you next time. Bye.